Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Yotewo podcast. And today we have Jake, our good friend and partner, the COO of Snuze. Bro, so thank you so much for coming. First of all,
Thanks for
it's an
having me.
honor to have you here as a guest, and I haven't seen you for a while, so I'm personally glad to to catch up. Bro, maybe let's start with a bit of introduction on yourself, just a few words, and then we'll get to the questions.
Sure. My name is Jake, born and raised in London. I've always been entrepreneurial, started a few businesses when I was young, Shopify store around 13, so jumped in the
Nice.
dropshipping trend early, did a few side hustles and stuff quite young. Always knew I wanted to start my own business. I had the grades, I guess, to kind of pursue university. So I decided,
Yeah.
okay, let me go to a university.
Yeah.
Wasn't planning to, but it happened. Went into UCL, met my co-founder during freshers. Great
Okay,
time.
nice.
Yeah, we went during freshers. A good time. And we started Snooze. And I guess I also ran into a period as well that I also kind of jumped on Initiator VC as well. So that was around second year. And
Nice.
yeah, so now I'm full time on Snooze. Initiative VC is now being run by my co-director.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good times now. Full time on Snooze, fully done with university in UCL.
Amazing, bro. That's a great track record, bro. We'll focus on both things. So yeah, from previously being a founder of Initiator to now being while being a UCL student, bro. That's another thing I'll ask you about because it's pretty cool and rare thing to find. Yeah, to founding Snooze. So, bro, I think maybe let's start with what drove you to both of these ventures. So maybe let's start with Initiator, just how you got in there, and
Sure.
then tell me about the origins of Snooze.
Yeah, so Initiator, so I wasn't actually the founder, but I jumped on as a director.
Yeah.
So it was actually founded by these guys called Elliot and Simon. And essentially they noticed there was a bit of a gap in the market in terms of opportunity for UK and European university students.
Yeah.
So usually you see, even to this day, you see US students getting insane amounts of funding.
Of course.
100K really easily doing really crappy MVP. While in the UK it's just really hard to get funding. As both of us, we've raised capital. It's tough. It's really tough to get, at least to get your first ticket.
It is tough. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of the premise of it, and to also foster that entrepreneurial spirit, I guess, in the UK and Europe.
Yeah.
So that was their premise. They did really good with it. So they started a fund in the US fund investing in UK and European startups with like safes, so small checks around 25 to 30K checks.
So the capital was from US, like the cash.
So it was a mixture of US investors and I think Israel and other places as well.
Interesting. I didn't know
interesting because I think they had a few. They were quite connected. So they had a few family friends, I think. But yeah, so they used those funds. They raised like a 300K fund, really small. I guess with US, it's a lot easier to set up a fund. So they had a micro fund.
Yeah.
And they deployed, I think, into like 10 or 11 startups.
Nice.
And yeah, a lot of them are doing pretty good now.
Cool. Do you know if they're doing new funds now or?
No, so Elliot, I think he's doing, he's full-time in a startup now. He's doing really well. I think he's got some good VCs behind him now.
Nice.
Simon, I think he's working at another company.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the accelerator? They had the accelerator.
Yeah, they had accelerator as well. Yes. So that was with the 25K check.
Yeah.
So they did. So they invested and they did an accelerator on top of that. They also ran a few accelerators where they didn't invest, but like they had other, other investors there. So that's how it started. And then obviously I kind of jumped on.
Yeah.
A year ago or whatever.
Yeah.
When they were looking to move on, like Elliot had his own startup he wanted to pursue and everything. They were getting, they wanted to do their own thing because obviously you leave university and you're kind of out of touch with the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's where I was around second year at the time. I found it really interesting. I kind of came across them through an introduction and then I thought it would be a really good experience, just something different, learn about the venture ecosystem. So I just jumped on.
Nice. It's a good smart strategy that they use, like doing a small fund, like co-investing with some of the VCs and then bringing the VCs for the startup. That's
Exactly.
move. Okay, Brian, what about Snooze? Tell me, about the problem you saw. How did the idea come up?
Yeah, Snooze is a funny one because it was my co-founder's idea. He's a CEO.
Yeah.
And so we both kind of worked on the idea, but we had the raw problem. So a mixture of things. Hotels, really expensive. Actually, let me start before that.
Yeah.
So essentially, we both got UCL, right? He studies law.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to get accommodation. Like the UCL, they messed up the accommodation, all that stuff.
Okay.
So he was like couch surfing.
Yeah.
He was having to pay for expensive hotels and stuff. I think he even asked me like if he could stay at my house, but like I only met him for a week, so I was just like chill out. But yeah, so that's kind of the problem where like he was just really found himself really exhausted all the time. Hotels really expensive and inflexible, let's say, and he also did American football, so he was carrying, you know, heavy bags everywhere, and like he was just a mess. So
exactly.
And then he realized, okay, firstly, why are hotels so expensive? Secondly, why they're so inflexible? Why can't I stay, let's say, for an hour or two during the day? Why is it that, you know, you're just given a check-in and check-out time?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he started looking into, he's always been like really obsessed with like Japan and stuff. And he realized, oh, these sleep pods, like these are pretty cool.
Yeah.
How comes they don't exist really in London or whatever? And then it kind of ticked for him. He was like, imagine we just put in a bunch of these pods. They can essentially be placed anywhere. They're mobile units.
Exactly.
And then you can rent them by the hour overnight, pay significantly less for a hotel, flexible, and also help with just exhaustion and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That was the root of the idea. At the time, I didn't know anything about sleep pods. I was like, actually, it's pretty cool. And I searched it out. I was like, straight away, I saw the potential. And I was like, I'll work with this on you.
Yeah.
Since then, that's what we've been doing.
Nice, man. That's amazing. I think, from my understanding, right, Snuze, it's a way bigger picture than just sleep pods, right? It's wrapped by tech, right? So it's based on tech, and also from what I've been looking at, it has facilities as well, right? Like, tell me more about how it's gonna work.
So we're gonna launch one location first, with just a location of sleep pod units. So one location of like different types of pods with different types of technology. But it is centered around wellness, so we're not trying to become like a pod hotel or anything.
Exactly,
we're being more on the retail and wellness and a resting facility
experience.
So exactly, an experience. So it's going to be really cool, cutting edge sleep tech to help people sleep better. Amazing. You know, way better than your average hotel, you know, all of that stuff, and obviously cheaper than any budget hotel. Amazing. So it's going to be mainly focused on the technology on that end, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Amazing, bro. That's great. Okay, tell me about the fundraising bit. So how did the fundraising go? We had a chat earlier a bit, but can you tell me a bit more? How did the fundraising go? Just tell me a bit more about that.
It was interesting because like cold emails were failing initially, and then afterwards we got interest from a family office, and then they actually offered to invest more than what we wanted, like literally upwards of 1 million off the bat.
Cool.
But the terms were horrendous. Okay. So we just said no. You know, it was stuff like we have the option to acquire your company after a certain amount of years. Very tough info rights. We just didn't want that. So we just kind of say we'll be in touch maybe if we need it, last resort thing.
Was there evaluation okay? I'm just wondering because family offices, I don't know, do they like
they were trying to take around like minimum 30%.
Bro, that's a terrible evaluation.
But obviously when you hear, you know,
1 million,
1 million, you're like, what the flip? Exactly. Like we could do, you know. So it's obviously tempting, and the family office, they're a pretty cool family office, and the guys on really successful companies.
Nice.
So it was tempting, but like we were very early days in the fundraising, so we just kind of said we'll get back in touch. The rest were through warm introductions. Honestly, we tried other cold emailing, completely flopped. We did get a few responses, but just a lot of skepticism. And they say it's too risky or whatever, without actually understanding what we're doing, and the core value add is more value for money. It's quite simple. It's the way EasyJet has been so successful, Ryanair, whatever. So but a lot of investors just weren't seeing that, VCs weren't paying attention. So we had to go through the warm introduction route, just like really building our network, relying on our network. Like I literally went through my contacts, and I was like, well, just literally I had to just let go of my ego, and I was like, we're fundraising right now, you know, we're accepting checks, even 10K checks, like would you be interested or know anyone who's interested? And it kind of went from there essentially. So we got like our first cornerstone investor through that. And after that, it was a lot easier to start convincing people that we actually onto something, you know? So that was it.
Did the experience with Initiator help in terms of like pitching and stuff?
Yes and no. I mean, it did with like some good contacts in terms of operations and stuff, but not for fundraising. I guess the VCs weren't really paying attention to what we were trying to do. You know, they're more focused on software, AI. So that's why as well we're more on this tech angle as well, because that's how we secured a cornerstone. At first it was literally just the raw concept of the pod. Now obviously we've added the technology element to it and the long-term vision of like human optimization and all that. But Yeah, so VCs, yeah, they weren't giving us time of day.
You know, with VCs, bro, it's always weird because even like when we started talking to, we didn't talk to angels a lot. Like we talked to a few angels in the beginning, but it didn't like work too well. So we got VC in, but we also like we're talking to a few VCs. So we just continued to speak with some of them for like a while after the pre-seed round. And it's very interesting that they're kind of like when we're approaching the seed round now, they are getting in touch and they're like interested and stuff. But when I reach out, like at this stage, when we're seed stage, we're revenue generating, I reach out to new VCs. They're as skeptical as those ones that were a year ago. You know, they're always skeptical, bro. I don't know what's up with them, but it's like with VCs, it's tricky.
Very questionable due diligence these days, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we did get interest from VC, but only at the end when it was way too late. Like we raised the 600K, and then a VC comes along saying, "Oh, why don't you guys split the entity and then we'll into OpCo and PropCo, all of that stuff, and then we'll put in more." And then we're like, "We're done. We're tired of fundraising. You know, just come back later." Or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. How long did the process, like the fundraising, take? In our case, it was like 6 months, like full time 6 months.
Yeah, how was around. It was around that. I think it was slower for us because we were still in university, so we were feeling the pressure of final year. But we started.
I can't imagine doing both things at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was tough. It was tough, and I was doing Initiator as well at the same time. So it was tough. But I would say around really hardcore around January, February. That's when we started. So around the 5 to 6 month period.
Okay. That's sick. Nice. Bro, one question also on the product. What was the first, first of all, what was like, how did you, because it's a physical product, it's very, like, I'm very interested in the process, how you kind of iterated the concept, and also how did you test the interest, bro, the demand? So I assume you did it slightly before the round. So maybe talk with her about that.
Sure. Yeah. It's interesting because we're not structural engineers, right? We're co-founders, so like we're learning that now. Like, well, maybe it would have been nice to have someone with knowledge because we're realizing all of the compliance bits that are involved in the pods and like making sure the electrics are in certain place for compliance, fire safety for disabled individuals and stuff. So there's a lot to it, but at least we're sorting that out now. Before we were just like messing around with random designs. But so that we focus very iteratively with, I guess, with 3D designs and CADs and stuff like that. So we made it ourselves. Yeah. And we scoped out quite a few suppliers. Cool. See who, because obviously it requires a lot of bespokement and them understanding us and what we want. Yeah. So it was kind of a mixture of that and also ourselves seeing what materials would be best for it, because we want soundproofing. Yeah. We want a ton of cool features. It's got to work. It's got to feel really good. Yeah. So it was a lot of that. In terms of testing demand, we did a ton of surveys and we spoke to a lot of people. So honestly, we've spoken to at least 200 people. Yeah. Like genuine conversations about the concept and trying to get everyone's point of view. So from people that are not even a target consumer to those that office workers, lawyers, investment bankers who could use this, because they're spending already 5,000 quid. On hotels, whatever. They're just wasting their own money and the corporates money as well. So that's the plan now as well, is to it's a B2B angle as well. So I guess with this, not only is going to be a B2C initially, we're going to go B2B, build this whole network of pods essentially. Yeah,
no man, that's amazing. I was just about to say probably the B2B segment is like huge in there, because it's like for people who are sending to London, like people for how do you call it, like business trips. It's super useful.
But obviously with B2B, like we need the reputation, I think, for us. Exactly, so it's really hard to tell them we got the best pods in the world when we haven't built one yet or whatever. So that's the plan, in the next few months.
Yeah, I think the experience aspect as well is super important, because that's what the first thing that I felt when I went to the landing page. I felt like this is a landing page of experience startup, not like a Proptech, because Proptech is a lot of people are doing Proptech, right? This is something about the experience of it. It's not just a sleeping pod that you feel that it will actually give you the value when you actually enter it, from tech perspective, from sleep perspective. I love it.
That's the plan. The plan, obviously, is to really shake up the way we think about accommodation as well. You don't necessarily need a shower and toilet in your own, you just need a really good bed, a good private space and secure space. Exactly. And then go about your day, spend less and spend on what really matters elsewhere.
Yeah. Exactly. Bro, also one thing that I got really interested in when I was doing, because I'm definitely a target customer for that, for sure. And when I was doing the survey about that, I was really interested in the pricing model. I know it's something like that pivots all the time, but maybe talk me through like the pricing, how it would work.
Sure. I probably can't go into too much detail, but what I will say is, it's a by the hour model. So we are still working on refining what the by the hour rates will look like. There will obviously discount based on how many hours you get.
Yeah.
But it's by the hour.
That's amazing.
Potentially, starting maybe around £15 or whatever, maybe less, maybe more.
Amazing.
We still have to see. Depends on the pod as well. But around that and overnight, really competitive rates. So it really depends on the area as well. We're probably going to dynamically price as well.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's gonna be good.
That's amazing. Yeah, actually, I think dynamic prices in this case is really cool. Yeah, because across different parts of London, it's super demanded product. I'm really like imagining it in my head. I'm looking forward for it to be out, bro. Okay, a few questions on the Initiator.
Sure.
This is definitely something that we've met when you were in the Initiator, and just a few questions I'm super interested in. So first of all, the Initiator, the concept was that they back young founders, right? Maybe can you tell me a bit more about the concept of like investing into like student-led startups? Because I love this idea. Like our startup was born in the university. We've met with you at UCL. Like this is definitely where the ecosystem is like thriving. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Sure. Well, the way we saw it is like there's a lot of outlier students, and usually you can tell who they are straight away from just talking with them just 5 minutes, and you just see, wow, like they're different.
Yeah.
They they don't care about anything else. You barely even see them really. They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting, like trying to find young, ambitious individuals like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's a really, I think it's a really, really cool concept. Like, being able to get that type of support while young.
Yeah.
It's really, a lot of investors, they say, oh yeah, you're young, go for it. But then when they get a young founder asking for money, they just say, no, too risky.
Yeah.
No, not for me yet. Next 10 years.
Yeah.
Too not inexperienced. But that's why, the premise of Initiator was to kind of back those that like don't have that experience yet, but they have the drive.
Exactly.
Obviously, some investors would be like some young people don't know what they want yet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we want to try, obviously, have connections with those that actually, they might not know what they want, but they want entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to do something big and change the world in some way. Even in an egotistical sense, they want to do something for themselves.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Of course, yeah.
So that's kind of the premise of it. And like, we mainly focus on the UK. So when I jumped on, I mainly focused on the UK. When Elliot and Simon were on board, they were mainly focused on Europe.
Okay.
Mainly because they were mainly based in Europe.
Yeah.
But we had switched to UK mainly. So we got a lot of startups from like Oxford, Cambridge,
amazing,
UCL, LSE. So it was quite a tough process initially because obviously I had no experience in venture or whatever. So I was just there acting like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But over time you get used to it and you build out your processes.
Yeah.
We changed the whole memorandum process, the way we went about it. There's a lot we did, and like we drafted our own accelerators. We brought in really cool mentors.
Amazing.
We did, we brought in lots of VCs for our demo days and stuff. Like
that's cool.
It was pretty cool, and our track record was pretty cool when we jumped on. Like our first accelerator, we picked out 5 really cool startups, and 4 out of 5 of them got follow-on funding.
Okay.
So it was pretty decent for our first one with no experience.
Of course, yeah.
So we got really cool people on the demo day. We had like Entrepreneur First. We had some international VC. We even had like this billionaires private partner or whatever to come watch. Nice. So I think there's really an interest and intrigue in the space and for young people and what they're up to, how they see the world. You know?
Yeah, bro, for sure. It's very interesting. I was talking recently to my just a friend who's also an angel, and he recently invested in 2 school dropouts, or not even uni dropouts. Like people dropped out from like 10th grade at school. Like I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And he said like that's like where it goes. Like people are younger and younger who found startups. So for sure, bro, that's a great niche. Tell me more about the assessment, like because obviously when they're students, it's more of a concept in their head, right? How did you run the assessment with them? Like how did you
First, it's a good question. First, you have to filter them out. Really, you got to really ask them a lot of questions. Some of them, they just like after a few, they just like, okay, yeah, you know what, get it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Like we've had that. Like they just drop out the process. They just like, you know what, like we've rethought a few things, we'll be back or whatever. So it's first making sure they're serious.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. A lot of founders, they just put down their founder just to look good for the investment banking internships,
Okay.
and to get into finance or whatever. So
does it help? Really? Does it help? I thought it's
yes
like the
no.
other. Yeah.
Yes or no? I mean, I don't know. They can do what they want, right? But like there was genuinely quite a few. They still had corporate in mind, so they just weren't fully full on all in.
Yeah.
So it's first filtering that. Secondly, is like seeing how resourceful they are. So like, what have they done without capital, or have they invested their own capital or whatever? Yeah. What have they done with that? Have they been resourceful on social media?
Yeah.
Have they spoken to potential consumers?
Yeah.
What have they made with like in code or with an MVP? Nice. How good is the design? Who is the team? Sometimes was it really interesting. There was like young founders, but they have like a PhD or what they have like PhD team members or whatever, cool. Or like really cool advisors. Then you're like, okay, well, these guys are pretty serious.
Yeah. So
to make sure that the team, nice. their mindset as well.
Yeah. Was there a tendency for these startups being less, like, I don't know, in terms of the verticals, like whether more serious ones like health tech, or something to do with data, or was it more like, I don't know, social medias or something like that? What was like the verticals? We
were sector agnostic, so it was
a bit of everything.
We had a broad range of startups, literally from one that was it was interesting. We had one startup that were actually like it was meant to be a social media for old people. Okay. But like it made no sense to us. Like the features weren't really old friendly or whatever. Okay. But they were claiming to be a social media for old people, but I couldn't see any old people on the social media. They had like apparently 10,000 users. I didn't see a single person old. Okay. So it made no sense. But like the team was really talented. Yeah. Just the execution just wasn't there. Yeah. But then eventually, after like a few months, they then get funded by A16Z and all that stuff. And then we're like, what the hell? What did we just miss? Yeah, so like it's a range of things from social media. Yeah. The guys that we backed for the accelerator, it was deep tech, it was AI, some B2C, but mainly B2B stuff and other things. Yeah.
Interesting. No, that's amazing. Can you see any like patterns in behavior in those founders who success from the initiator? Like, do you think there is anything that they all like share in common that help them?
Persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one that didn't follow on, they kind of stopped fundraising.
Oh, okay.
They just stopped and they took a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
They were pursuing other things, but the others, they just kept going. There was one that really struggled to fundraise, and then they ended up doing it eventually.
Nice.
So I think a lot of it is just persistence, being creative.
Nice.
So finding different ways to like get in the door.
That's amazing.
Essentially. So a lot of them, pitched at different demo days. They weren't afraid to do that, or they did something different in their pitch deck or in their presentation. Yeah. It's persistence, but also being creative with that persistence, not just trying and doing the same thing. Yeah. I mean, it's creativity.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
That's a great actually advice, because same thing like applied to us when we just started. Everyone's telling me like, oh guys, you're just another marketplace. Like the era of marketplace is gone. Like no one would invest. We actually just kept going. We kind of had no other choice, because we were like, look, people lose so much money in this field. Like we can do something about it and make money out of it. And yeah, bro, almost every single investor, he was like, it was back then, it was era like when we just started, it was like blockchain was kind of high up, and then AI, I know everyone was like, yeah, the B2B like SaaS is that, marketplace or that, and I agree, it's all about persistence, bro. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because even with Snuze, like we had the rough idea, literally middle of first year. Yeah, but like we had it in the back of our minds, but we were just playing around with different go-to-market concepts, and we just ended up not doing anything, but we still had it there, and we still kept trying. Yeah, exactly. Until eventually middle of second year, we sat down and we're like, okay, let's actually do something with it. Yeah. So with all that experience and looking into the market, it's helped us a lot. And then obviously if we gave up with the initial, poor traction with the cold emails, because honestly I sent about maybe 150 cold emails, and I only got like maybe 10 responses.
Crazy.
And some of them were just like, no.
Remove me from the email list. Yeah.
Literally, don't email again or whatever.
Yeah.
No, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just belief in yourself.
Yeah. 100%. No, 100%. Okay, bro. The next one is also about the founders. When you were at Initiator, have you know like what were the red flags for you when you guys were assessing the students? Like, what were like a few things that you were like immediate no? Like, were there such things?
Immediate no.
Or maybe like not immediate, but like kind of like not invested in that kind of guy.
Honestly, it's been a while because obviously I've been so involved in Snuze now, so I'm just trying to think back now with Initiator.
Yeah.
Instant no. Really crappy deck. I think we've come across really bad ones and like, literally ones that look like, you know, it made it in primary school or whatever. Like really, and I think a lot of people are trying to do that to be smart, but it just looks really bad.
Yeah.
So I think straight away, just a really bad deck and really poorly organized one.
Yeah.
What else? Maybe irrelevant advisors. Or I'll tell you one actually.
Yeah.
A really huge team, but it just makes no sense.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Who are these guys? What are they doing?
Yeah, exactly.
There was one that literally it didn't have the CEO on it. It just had random.
Oh my god.
Honestly, it had like tech lead, engineer.
All the tech guys and not the actual executive.
B2B partnerships, but not a single CEO or C-suite or like.
That's crazy.
And advisors, then they put random roles. So it's like, who's actually leading the organization?
That's crazy.
So there was stuff like that.
Who was the person pitching? Was it the CEO or was it like...
No, they just sent the deck in. They just sent it saying, please look at our deck. And then I looked at it and I just looked at the team page for a second. I just left it, never really got back. But yeah, I mean, it's just... I think if you're logical, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you put some thought into what you're presenting, right?
Yeah.
Don't present it too early. And if you are, say, okay, we're doing it early because this and that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's the best advice. Just be like, have common sense and apply critical thinking to your deck and whatever. It's like the main thing. Bro, the next question I have is so a bit related to what we do at Yotewo about hiring. I think I just want to hear your opinion from perspective of both. You know, being in a VC and being a founder. Do you see this like the hiring challenge of especially like early stage like technical hires? Do you see this as a you know challenge among founders?
Oh, definitely. There was this one startup actually. And I know that from a friend actually. They had a really, really cool concept, executed poorly because their tech team, their technical co-founders were trash. So it's literally you can have a really cool idea if you just don't have the right team to execute it.
Yeah,
it can really mess you up. I know people who have had to spend double or triple because of the wrong tech teams.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get that in-house. And obviously, when you outsource it, it's a lot of trust you're putting into a random team.
Exactly,
having to outsource. So
I think
tech for startups is tough. It's really hard to find a good technical co-founder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that claim to be technical, and they're not.
Yeah.
There's people that are technical, but they're technical in the wrong things.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find that balance.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. It's a big pain point. 100% in startups.
100%, bro. Agreed. You know, a lot of people like which don't do too much research on what we do. When we get in touch with them or they get in touch with us, mostly when we get in touch with them, they were like, no guys, no agencies, no outsourcing agencies, and we're always like explaining people in a separate like message that look, guys, if you look at our concept is we're not an agency, we're not freelancers, we have like professionals that plug into your team like full time. They integrate into the team. They're just like managed by our platform, like the process are managed. And people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And they when we tell them that, look, guys, you can from us, usually people get like CTOs, people get like team leads, they get like engineers for like 12 months and over. They get like, they don't understand the concept, but they see the value at the end of the day. Like initially they don't get it, but at the end of the day, they like, even after some time, they just come to us and like, yeah, actually, let's have a chat. We actually need your help. So yeah, it's I think it's a big problem. Bro, getting back to Snuze, tell me what's on the roadmap. What should we look out for? Looking ahead for Snuze, what's next?
I can't go too into detail, but we're gonna launch hopefully mid-September.
Okay.
So you'll see us around somewhere in central London.
Nice.
With quite a few pods.
Cool.
Apart from that, I mean, from there, let's see what happens. I think, the first location will be key for us to kind of understand how our users will use the pod, what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
you know, how operations will look like, because no one's really done what we're trying to do with the operations, you know. So it'll be a huge learning curve. So I think for the first 3 months, it will be us understanding how those operations look, and then from there really plan what the next steps are. But obviously the long-term vision, similar to Line Bike or Uber, to have these pods everywhere, people franchising the pod. So whether even you, yes, say for example, you setting up a pod somewhere for us or whatever, and you make like a vending machine. That's kind of the long-term vision. So we'll see. So it'll be a mixture of things. There's so many things. That's why it took so long, I guess, for us.
Yeah.
Because there were so many go-to-markets for us. You know, we could have been in hospitals as well.
Yeah,
there's so many things, but obviously you need a bit of traction for that. You need, and it's really, you know, as you know, like the sales cycle for a lot of these companies are too slow. So gotta think smart. So B2C for us, you know, it's showing really stable overnight demand during the day as well for some newer concepts in the market. Airports as well is doing really well. There's so much we can do. So you'll see us around very soon.
Man, that's amazing. Also, one question on the product, because I was just wondering, it's going to be built within buildings, right? It's not going to be like externally, like somewhere. It's going to be within buildings.
Initially within buildings, Hopefully, eventually, maybe externally, but that's going to be it's going to need a lot of thought into how we do that externally. But interior, yes, initially.
Bro, I'm the first person on the wait list. You know, I'm the first person on the wait list for that.
I appreciate it.
And you know, bro, in general, the concept, like the reason I really love it, like if you ask anyone who knows me, bro, everyone knows that I like not startups that are just like, you know, because there are so many startups who have like, oh, I have this concept will take over the world, but it's actually not like, they don't think too much into the business, like the commercial aspect of it, bro. And Snuze is something that like it commercially just makes sense. Like it's a business. It's a business that is just wrapped in technology, but it's like it makes sense for me so much.
Appreciate it.
So I'm looking forward for it. Bro, and I think to wrap up, just one question. If you could go back to one day, whether it's related to Snuze, whether it's related to Initiator, what would you do differently knowing what you know now? Would there be anything that you would like to change?
That's a very good question. I think with Initiator, I actually probably wouldn't have taken the accelerator route and the investment route. I think I would have focused on a community and a platform initially and sooner. Mainly because I think in the UK and Europe, there is, you know, capacity for investment. It's just being taken seriously, getting the right introductions to said investment. And that connection. So I think less focus, because the thing is with, you know, what Elliot and Simon created, they created like a VC and stuff. And I think when we jumped on, we had the pressure of trying to become a VC as well. We were literally thinking we were going to raise maybe a 1 million fund. Even we had some advisors saying you guys should raise a 10 million fund. But it's like, you know, we're in university. It's really hard to even make that commercially viable.
The concept is a bit different.
So like we had so much crappy advice. So honestly, probably on the community end, like you've seen community has so much potential. There's people paying
100%
silly amounts just to get in front of the right people. And I think because we had the connections, we had people at Sequoia, we had so much people involved in the ecosystem.
Amazing.
We should have definitely used that a bit sooner and built a really exclusive and cool community where people could learn as well. And like be more online, not just UK, you know, be more remote and automate that a little bit, so it's going to be more of a platform and a service as well. So I think Initiator, it still has the opportunity to be that. Obviously I'm not as involved now because I'm full-time on Snuze. Maybe I'll come back to Initiator at some point, but still potential for that. In terms of Snuze, definitely less wasted time on just messing around with like a concept in our head and trying to see the perfectionism. I think that's what it was, because
that's a good
but we were young. We were young, you know, even though I started a few ventures, it's nothing to the caliber of this. So
of course,
I didn't have the experience for, you know, a proper venture. So starting sooner, the interesting one, because me and my co-founder have different opinions on this. So like, he's happy that we waited so long and that we raised a lot of money, whatever, to start something like this. I think for me, I would have definitely preferred to raise sooner, small amount,
just
have some revenue, or at least learn from like that process. and then raise a lot more. Or I think getting that experience and like actually selling to users and trying to get revenue straight away, I think that to me is more fulfilling, and it's more exciting, and then you learn, and it informs whatever's going to happen. So obviously with us, like, yes, we raised a lot, but now it's on us to execute. But we haven't executed before. So it's a bit of a risk.
I get it.
It is a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, the investment we got was obviously from how, I guess, the way we pitched and our financials, because we put a lot of effort into the financials and the plan.
Yeah.
But obviously plans don't always work out with startups.
Exactly.
And we're learning that now.
Yeah.
So, so I think execute sooner, at least for me. Like, you know, even if it was a crappy version of the pod, and you put that in a random airport or random,
and give some traction, it's already
just to test it for a bit, even though it might have costed maybe 10K or 20K, whatever. Scramble the money to just try do it. Or even just make your own panels and make a mini pod and put it somewhere. I would have done that sooner.
That's a great advice, bro. I 100% share your viewpoint on that, because it's when you just have traction or revenue or anything, it just gives you like such a confidence, and it helps a lot with the fundraising.
Definitely.
So that's great advice. Perfect. I think that's a great wrap up, bro. I'll leave all the links to Jake's social media and to Snuze website and social media in the description of the podcast. And bro, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.